Am I the a-hole for refusing to work things out with my fiancé because my life is better now that his daughter isn't around me? Title makes me look like an AH. I accepted that. But, for full transparency, I wanted to be completely honest here. Basically, I had been with my fiancé, Matt, for 8 years. He has a daughter, 14-year-old Vivian. I tried so hard to involve Vivian in everything. I enrolled her in all of these extracurricular programs and showed up to every single event. I spent thousands on things she wanted or needed. I brought her out for one-on-one to do girly things like get our hair and nails done or even go shopping. One-on-one dinners wherever she wanted to eat. She literally complained about everything. Every time I brought her out to eat, she complained loudly about the food being trash. Every single time we went and did our hair and nails, she would complain that it turned out bad. Complained on Christmas and asked if she had more stuff coming because she only had 16 items under the tree. Literally everything on her wish list. And she was grateful but disappointed because she expected more from us. Tie this in with other things, like all my stuff going missing constantly. My makeup, that she had been told not to touch several times, became free game for her. My hairbrush, that I also told her not to touch, was always left on the counter with giant chunks of her hair left in it. All her hair products and makeup sit right beside mine in the bathroom, and despite her stuff being higher quality, she still uses mine. Literally spaced out whenever I tried talking to her about it. Her eyes would just gloss over and she would stare right through me, nod her head and say, "Mm-hmm," or tell me why it wasn't a big deal, and she was tired of me creating drama with her. My clothing? Yeah, half that shit is missing, and I would catch her wearing them and she would blatantly lie and gaslight me by saying, "You literally gave me this and now you're going to flip out." She just had zero respect for me and that was obvious. Her dad did absolutely step in every single time and reprimand her, but it never got better. It all came to a head over a damn bowl of tuna. So, my fiancé and I have a 2-year-old, and she has been extremely ill. I'm so busy dealing with fussiness all day and seemingly all night long that I simply forget to feed myself. So, 3 days ago, I get the baby to sleep and go lounge in the living room and start making myself some tuna for crackers around 11 p.m. Vivian comes out and sees me making it. She gets herself a drink and goes back to her room. The baby wakes up, so I put my tuna in the fridge, get the baby back to sleep, and when I come out, Vivian is on the couch eating it. It was the last of the tuna, and I was starving and really craving it. I didn't eat dinner because I didn't like the meal I made for Vivian and Matt. So, I snapped a bit. I asked why she would be touching my food when she already ate dinner, and she really just rolled her eyes, tossed my bowl on the counter, and slammed off to her bedroom. I immediately woke up Matt and told him I was done. Him and his daughter needed to get out of my house by the following day and go stay elsewhere. Anywho, he went to his mom's with Vivian, and holy F has my house been peaceful since they left. Matt keeps asking if he can come home and talk, but I told him I honestly just don't know if I want to work this out because my life has been nothing but peaceful without Vivian here. He keeps saying things like, "You don't mean that, you love her, you've been around for more than half her life." But I really, truly have come to the conclusion that I do not like that girl and I love my life now that she's not a part of it. Aita for throwing away 8 years and a very loving relationship over his kid? Story 2. Am I the a-hole for shutting off the movie halfway through and making my boyfriend feel bad? My boyfriend, Wyatt, and I always watch movies together every time we have off days that end up on the same day, especially since the pandemic, and we go back and forth on who picks the movie. But I've noticed he's usually talking through my movie choices, either pointing out plot holes or just talking down about the movie in one way or another. I never act this way when it's his turn to pick the movie, even if I don't care for it. Like the last movie he chose, The Fountain. I was so confused until halfway through and then bored the rest of the film. But I didn't talk during the movie or constantly dump on it either. And even at the end when he asked what I thought, I said it was all right, even though I thought the movie wasn't good. It tried to do a bunch of different things all at once and ended up doing nothing. But he seemed really fond of it, so I didn't want to hurt his feelings. But he doesn't seem to have that mindset when it comes to him watching my picks. I've told him to shush and to just watch the movies, but he just sighs loudly and says they're boring. If I tell him to stop, he gets all huffy and goes totally silent and usually takes his phone out to play a game or scroll the internet, totally ignoring me and the movie. It really hurts my feelings. And yesterday was my turn to choose again, and I picked a good movie that really hit me hard as a kid. I bawled when I first watched it and still tear up to this day. And I told him this movie was special to me, but he barely got 10 minutes into it before he started up saying it was boring and childish. It is a kid's movie, but that doesn't make it boring. I was getting upset, and before the big part of the movie even got close, I just couldn't take it anymore. I felt like him acting this way during a super important part would ruin the movie for me, maybe forever, so I just got up and turned it off. He asked what I was doing, and I told him I didn't want to have the movie ruined for me, so it was better if I just turned it off. He said I was being a baby and to turn it back on. I refused and just told him to pick something to watch instead. Then I sat on the couch. He got mad and said if I was going to be dramatic like this, then he didn't want to watch anything with me and got up and went to his room and slammed the door. This happened the other day, and he's been giving me the cold shoulder, and when I asked why, he said he wants an apology for making him feel like dirt. Should I apologize? Did I really make a huge deal out of just a movie? AITA. Follow us on TikTok and YouTube for more daily stories. Share your opinion down below. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife's friend I don't have to see her in the classroom to know she's a horrible teacher? My wife's friend was supposed to come watch fireworks with us tonight, but she just texted my wife that she isn't coming because I'm a nasty person who encourages my child to be rude and disrespectful. My wife and I just had a small argument about the situation that ended with her pulling a big Lebowski on me and saying, I don't have to be wrong to be an a-hole. That's true, but I think her friend is the a-hole, not me. I'll tell you what happened, and you decide for us. My wife's friend was at our house for dinner. She's a teacher, and she complains about it a lot. She says the parents are impossible to deal with, the administration is not supportive, everyone has an opinion on curriculum, and the kids don't listen. I include these complaints as context for the discussion. She told my wife she was working on her lesson plan for February and Black History Month, and that she was making a fact sheet about Martin Luther King Jr. for her kids. Our son, who is a huge Star Trek fan, said that she should include the fact that MLKJ was a Star Trek fan. My wife's friend, with a very patronizing tone and expression I might add, said that maybe he would have been if he'd still been alive when it aired. My son said that he was, and that he used to watch it with his daughters. My wife's friend said that he died before the show aired. I told her she was wrong, and my son was right. She said I was a perfect example of a parent that can't acknowledge when her child was wrong. I said, no, you're a perfect example of a teacher that assumes she knows everything and can't connect with her students because she doesn't respect them. My wife forced us all to change the topic. After dessert, I pulled up a video on YouTube where Nichelle Nichols was discussing talking to MLKJ about Star Trek. I showed it to everyone. My wife's friend asked why I couldn't let the topic lie. I said I didn't want my son to feel like he was wrong for sharing facts he knows about his interests. My wife's friend said, I don't know what it's like to be a teacher. I said I don't, but I know she's a bad one. She said I'd never seen her in the classroom. I said I didn't need to because I see how she is in her daily life, and people are who they are regardless of where they are. So my wife's argument is, I'm an a-hole for bringing the topic back up after it was settled. She said I could have played the video for our son after her friend left and taught him about giving others grace and not needing external validation. I disagree and think it is important our kid knows we will always stand up for him. So, am I an a-hole? Story 4. My husband wakes me up. Multiple times. Every night, am I the a-hole? I, 40F, am very health conscious and I like to go to bed early around 9:30. I have a young child and like to ensure that I get enough sleep even when woken early. My husband, 39M, chooses to go to bed a bit later. I don't mind when I wake up when he comes to bed, but lately he's decided that he needs to turn the bright overhead light on every time he comes to bed so he can see to get himself ready to sleep. He used to just use the flashlight on his phone but says he doesn't want to feel like he has to tiptoe around. This is an issue for me because not only does it wake me up, but makes it more difficult to fall back to sleep because I'm more fully awake. He also refuses to put his phone on Do Not Disturb mode at night. I'm not even sure why, but just flatly refuses. I know it's very simple to set your phone up to accept messages and calls from certainly numbers, and I don't know why this would not be an option for him. It usually goes off at least once or twice a night. It wakes me up, though it does not seem to bother him. I've become increasingly frustrated with the multiple wakings, and I've definitely yelled at him during the night. I find it disrespectful to another person who is a light sleeper to not take small, simple steps to help them sleep better. He sees this as me trying to control him. I have always been a light sleeper, and sleep has always been an issue between us. AITA Story 5. Am I the a-hole for ending a relationship over long showers? I don't think I'm the a-hole, but my aunt and mom got in my head over the holidays, and now I am questioning myself. Until early November, I, 28F, was in a long-term relationship with Kevin, 30M. We were together for about 18 months. He was planning to move in with me at the end of November when his lease was up. I own my own place, whereas he had a roommate who was recently engaged. Seemed like good timing all round. Kevin was generally a good guy. Funny, charming, easygoing. I thought I was in love. But a few weeks before he was supposed to move in, he made a weird offhand comment about my evening shower habits. Now look, I know some people will find this crazy, but it's not as crazy as it seems. I have a glorious steam shower with a comfy bench. I take long AXE steams before bed. Usually 15 minutes to steam, 5 to 10 minutes with the water on and off to shower and wash my hair, and another 5 or so for skincare. I'm not hogging the only bathroom or the hot water, and I only do it after everything else is done for the day. Work, chores, sex. Anyway, the comment was that I would have to knock off things like that when I was living with him. Which why? He said I was wasting time and needed to be more present when I lived with a man. Wagwip? It's 30 to 40 minutes. I can't have 30 to 40 minutes to myself. This led to a longer argument about the various things about myself and life I would need to change before he would move in. Like I was doing him a favor, letting him live with me rent-free. Many things themselves weren't terrible. Put my various skincare things away rather than leaving them on the shelf. Fair. Don't leave so many shoes in the mudroom. They're on a rack, but whatever. Stop the composting service. He wants to do it. But a few were non-starters. Don't have my brother, 17, and his friends over unsupervised by him, and don't volunteer at a local shelter that houses men. It was wild. He had never shown any indication of being controlling before, so I tried to talk to him about what he was thinking. He just said that moving in meant that I was his and needed to act like it, paraphrasing. I said then we weren't moving in together as I am not anyone's, less articulate than that, and asked him to leave. We had another conversation a day or so later, but neither of us budged, so we mutually broke it off. I was sad, but not devastated, mostly completely confused and questioning my ability to see any red flags. There had to be some right? I thought I made the right choice. My friends think I made the right choice. My baby brother also thinks I made the right choice. He may be influenced by my 3D printer. But my mom and aunt think I made a huge mistake. It's been a solid 2 weeks of you're going to die alone. You're selfish. You have to compromise in relationships. You can't expect him to put up with your single girl schedules and habits. He was such a catch. I feel like my head is going to explode. I thought my mom would at least care that he was cutting off free brother sitting when they travel. But no. She thinks my ex was right that my brother and his friends shouldn't be in the house alone with a single woman at their age. I babysat most of them when they were younger, for Christ's sakes. Am I really unreasonable here? I'm driving myself nuts. We are not getting back together. But was I an a-hole? Story 6. Am I the a-hole for not wanting contact with my stepkids after their mom passed? Catherine was my best friend growing up. She was the first person I told that I was gay. She hugged me and told me that I was still me. We were there through everything for the last 40 years. My HIV scare in college, her kids' births, my divorce, her divorce, and innumerable small and large life events. We got married to each other because we deeply love each other and because she needed health insurance. Her grown children, whom I have literally from birth, didn't approve. We tried talking to them, but they wouldn't listen. We eventually agreed that it would be best if I distanced myself from the kids. Catherine would travel to see them or arrange it so they could visit her while I took vacations with friends. Catherine went through her savings in the last years of her life, and I supported her completely. I didn't once ask where the money I gave her went. I paid for her trips to see her kids because she needed that. I paid for gifts she sent her kids and grandkids. It's just money, and I have more than I will spend in this lifetime. Catherine passed in October. All she left her children was sentimental items, pictures, old souvenirs, that sort of thing. She had no money. Her kids were disappointed but seemed to understand. Then, just after Thanksgiving, they tried contacting me to know how they were to get their gifts. Last year, I rented a ski chalet in Montana for the family. I also paid for 2 days of cat skiing. I did not spend that holiday with them, but it was the last time Later saw all her children and grandchildren together. I said that their mother hadn't left them anything for Christmas this year. They were upset because they thought they were getting another trip to memorialize her, I guess. I told them that I was going away for the holidays by myself to spend time with my friends. And that's what I did. We spent 2 weeks in Morocco, and I mourned my friend. I didn't look at my phone the entire time we were there. I still take pictures with my Nikon SLR, so I didn't even use my phone for that. I finally turned on my phone on our way to the airport, and it was full of notifications and messages from her kids, most quite impolite. I messaged each kid, told them I didn't want to hear from them again, then I blocked them. It felt like cutting off a limb. I loved those kids, but they spent the last 5 years treating me like nothing, and now they want my money. I'm just done. Their father contacted me and said I was being petty and vindictive. He said that the least I could do was give them whatever my wife left me. I laughed. If I didn't have a great career and excellent insurance, all she would have left me was debt. So, they are all young adults, some with children of their own. They have shown me that they do not want me in their lives. Am I wrong for agreeing and taking actions to make it so? Story 7. Am I the a-hole for threatening to stop contributing to my stepson's college fund after my wife said he's not our son? We got married in our mid-30s. I was single, and she was a single mother of a 3-year-old son. The boy's bio dad is totally absent since divorce, and neither gives any child support, so I was supposed to totally take his place as the father of that child. I had no issues, mainly because he was just 3 at that time. I believed he'll surely accept me as his dad. Things went smooth, and as I expected for next 6 to 7 years. Currently, we're in our mid-40s, and the kid is now 14 years old. As he grows, he started arguing, questioning things, etc., basically doing all sort of parent-child things a teen normally does. I tried my best to be the best dad since day one, but since last 4 to 5 years, whenever a quarrel happens with our kid and I try to involve in it, my wife shuts me up by saying sentences like, "Don't get between me and my son. I know him the best, he's my child," etc. Even though she says that, in complete anger, it hurts badly. I feel such things shouldn't be said no matter what. Although I've been doing a full-time job, it's not like I'm an absent father. I give most of my remaining time to my family. My connection with old friends has got weakened, and I made no new attachments friends at work. I discussed about this thing and how bad I feel with her 2 to 3 times in the past. She just shrugs it off, although doesn't argue but gets kinda sorry. She very rarely says sorry directly, it just reflects in her behavior. But the same things happen even after that, like in 4 out of every 10 fights we have with our kid. Same happened last week. That was the final breaking point, and I made her sit and talk last Sunday, when our son was out, for an hour. It quickly turned into a fight between us, and I told her if he's her son and not ours, then all his finance responsibilities is hers as well, and she shouldn't be really expecting me to put monthly money in his college fund as well, as she's her son, right? We both started saving for his college fund since 2.5 years, till now both of us contribute towards it monthly and equally. I'm thinking of not putting any money in it until she apologizes. I know it sounds like I'm punishing our son, but I'll be just secretly saving that monthly payment somewhere else until then. Am I the a-hole? She's highly upset. Story 8. Am I the a-hole for refusing to clean the coffee machine at work? I work in a space with about 20 coworkers. We share a break room and the coffee amenities that are in it. That includes a fancy coffee machine, a lot of mugs, and a dishwasher for said mugs. The coffee machine needs to be cleaned daily so that the milk inside does not curdle overnight. This means running the cleaning cycle and opening the machine to wash some of the individual components inside. The office has a weekly rotation for the coffee cleaning duty. Managers are exempt from that duty, so the common worker like me is typically in charge of cleaning the coffee machine for a week every few months. On top of that, everyone leaves their dirty mugs in the kitchen sink, and the person on rotation is expected to load and unload the dishwasher multiple times a day so that everyone has clean mugs at all times. On days when the managers have business visitors, this can add up to a lot of mugs to cater to the visitors' coffee needs. I understand that the coffee machine and mugs are a common amenity, and I agree that if you use them, you should contribute. That said, I do not drink coffee. It is a well-known fact among my coworkers that I dislike coffee. They even joke about it. I do not use the coffee machine, be it for coffee, hot chocolates, or even hot water. I don't even use the mugs. I prefer drinking juice, sodas, or water that I bring with me every morning in my own containers, bottles, or tumblers. I ask to be kept off of the cleaning rotation since I don't use the coffee machine and most likely never will. I find it a bit ridiculous to only touch the coffee machine to clean it, and to be asked to clean after everyone for something I'll never use. My coworkers are split on that matter. Some agree with me, others say that I should contribute to living in society regardless, and do it to keep the peace. I'd argue that they have a vested interest in me participating so that they can clean less often. I am aware that this is just a coffee machine, and I'd be cleaning it for just a week every few months. But the principle of it bothers me. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to clean the coffee machine? Story 9. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my GF to send me check-ins when she is out? So, I've been seeing this girl for a few months now, and she has a tendency of checking in with me every time she goes out. Like recently, she had a girls' day out with some friends and texted me when she was heading out. I said, "Cool, have fun. Text me when you're back home safe." I thought this would be the last time I heard from her until she was back home. But no. She proceeded to send me a detailed play-by-play of the entire day pretty much every 15 minutes. Like, did you even enjoy the moment with your friends? Or were you just on your phone texting me updates the whole time? Later that evening, we had a call and I told her that she really should just enjoy her time with her friends instead of texting me, and she proceeded to say that she just wanted to make sure I knew she was still okay and having fun. She seemed upset that I didn't appreciate the effort she put into sending me those updates. I low-key suspect she was with someone who was super controlling and jealous before, but I genuinely don't care about all that stuff, and I told her that as long as she just texts me that she got home safe at the end of the night, I'm good. So, am I the a-hole for wanting her to just enjoy spending time with her friends and stop texting me those annoying check-ins? Story 10. Am I the a-hole for wanting to buy my own property now, even though my boyfriend is against it? Context. I, 28F, work for a bank. I don't know about other countries, but in mine it's very common for banks to have special staff housing loan schemes. In my bank, rates go from 1.5% to 7%, depending on your performance evaluation, number of years you've worked for the bank, etc. The bank also gives the lowest rates, between 1.5% to 2.5%, to a set number of people, so there's a lottery system in place for those loans as the number of eligible applicants are always greater than the quota. I was selected for a 2% loan for 2026. I just have to utilize it before the end of this year. I am absolutely stoked, obviously. Even with my savings, it wouldn't be enough for a down payment, so my parents have agreed to help me out with the rest. I spoke to my boyfriend when I was told I got the loan, and he was less than enthusiastic. He asked me when I applied for it, and I told him I applied in January 2025, before I met him. We went on our first date in February. He told me that he could see us buying a property together later on with our own money and not my parents', but he wants us to be as debt-free as possible until that point. But, in my opinion, opportunities like this don't come every day, and if I let this go, I will have to apply again, and there's no guarantee that I will get the same terms again. Plus, with my parents helping out with the down payment, all the stars are kind of aligning at the moment. Would I be the a-hole if I wanted to go ahead anyways?